Hi friends, let's take a look at Chainlink and Chainlink versus the Bitcoins and Chainlink versus the dollar coins. Okay, and this is just the 1 hour chart that I have up at the minute. And if we're looking over to the right, you can see that we came all the way down there and hit our third target on the green grass of home. I've been talking about this area for a while. This is the golden pocket retrace, where the third profit taking target that we had on here. Is this right at this point here to turn around and continue on the trend that has previously up to this point been an upward trend, flicking up towards the 24-hour time frame and just seeing this highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, all the way up here? Are we in an uptrend? Yes, we're in an uptrend. And do uptrends have retracements? Yes, they have retracements. Where is this latest one taking us from? Well, since you ask, if you were to look at it from the lows here, our low just before we swung up towards the top side here, and consider it from the 15th of June, and then looking at the retrace that we've had down the way we've come back down to the 618 golden pocket zone, our third profit taking target. Yes, you could say so. You could indeed say so. So then give me some things to give me some positivity about that then, Rocky, while you're at it. Okie dokie. Well, if we consider this to be a low and it does actually come and move towards the top side here next, then you could maybe have a bit of hidden bullish divergence showing up here with the K on the stochastics coming down here lower than it was previously. RSI line here lower than it was previously. Maybe that would be interesting enough for in terms of the bullish side of things. Bearishly speaking, here in the 24-hour time frame, we have this crossover here on the DMI. Sure, we do, with the negative sort of momentum coming into play here. But as the strength of trend has been kind of bleeding off a little bit, coming back down to that 40 zone, is this kind of natural as part of this upward trend that we've had? And yes, we can say that it is. And can we say that sometimes we've seen this sort of pattern, this sort of thing happening before, as we've come down, dropped down here, made a bit of a move back up the way, then dropped down a bit more in and around this area. In and around these areas again, we dropped down, then we went along and found our feet and then moved towards the top side. So would it be fair to say that we could maybe see a sort of a rejection of this on our first pass with a little bit of a move towards the top side, and then perhaps even see it continue on a bit further before we continue the upward trend? Yes, indeed, you totally could look at it like that, and you could even look down to if I could just. If I just get this, that comes in at the all-time lows over there on the left, this big old Fibonacci, and that goes into the all-time highs. Just double checking here they've got that right. Well, then, the targets on this one for a retrace down the way, the 236 coming in there at 75k, gone past that, 382 coming in there at that golden pocket where we are now, at 61k, not where we are now, but where we've been today, right there on that 382. So then the two further targets towards the next, towards the downside thereafter would be at that at 50k and 38k. So 50k and 40k, which we know were from the moves up towards the top side, as you can see quite clearly here, were very significant areas, kind of denoting the top end of this triangle shape that we then ultimately broke out of. So that's what you'd be looking to, and still being able to remain fairly bullish on this coin if you wanted. So then there's all of that good stuff. Then where would you start to be kind of questioning about if we did get a turnaround? Where's to look out for the targets towards the top side? Well, I'd say quite clearly 75k is the first one, and then afterwards the 84k would be the next one thereafter, kind of working back the way overall in terms of the movement down the way, and looking at it and saying, can we undo the sort of the bearishness of the recent past and move towards the top side? So then I would kind of disregard those notions and say that 618 was pretty good, with seeing daily closes coming in here above this, just in terms of looking at this just now anyway. Obviously reserve the right to change my opinion, strong opinions, weakly held, all that stuff. Up here past these certain areas up, moving up towards the if we were to actually continue to trace down towards the downside, or retrace down towards the downside, then I suppose the Alamo on that move would be 88k. If you're looking at that, perhaps, then for it to turn around, or else we're going on towards higher highs, probably, more or less. Anyway, things have been working out very, very well for us, and we can now visit in with the dollar friend, or dollar prices. Just a distinction here to draw, that if you look at this line here as being the neckline of Adam and Eve, which very well could be conceived as where the 382 was, and also if we look over to the left where the 236 was coming in at 75k, which we then broke down the way and then got the measured move off the back of a Adam's, a peaky top formation there. Then you could also consider the same thing over here on the dollar prices. So what's happened in this dynamic is that the prices dropped down here yesterday when the Bitcoin prices went up, but the dollar prices managed to more or less persevere and keep themselves up here above this line that we were talking about. Now we had this drawn in yesterday speculatively, and we did see further price action towards the downside. So I can just line that up properly now, and we can see that we've actually come back up above the 236 in there at $7 and a cent really. So we're just above that now, and that's very, very positive. Having managed to so far open up there and maybe perhaps going on the way to put in a close above the 236, at which point we could look for a retracement up to this. Consider all the chat here to be more or less the same between the two coins, just the value that's slightly different up towards this one 618 area, coming in there at this chart's 0.618, just to be perfectly clear, they're in at $8, so the $8 would be your first sort of target where you could be happily taking profits at if you were just trading this move here, if there was to be one coming up, looking towards the moving at least past these three numbers here in the meantime. So as we're here right now at 720, this is what we spoke about in yesterday's video, making it easy for you, shooting fish in a barrel like I called it then. You've got your 720 there, moving past 711, brought us up here, moving past here, could see us coming up towards that target. That's what we need to be bearing in mind. And then if thereafter we can be looking towards $8, or indeed whether or not we're coming in here and actually setting in a higher than our previous sort of little high area here at $7.80, where the 618 is, closing out there and moving beyond that, then you're looking at those other targets. So that's where you can see the story fitting together more or less, despite the fact that this has moved on down towards its third profit taking target. That's the relationship between the dollar and the Bitcoin price in there on this one, and that's what makes trading crypto so very, very interesting. And I hope that you found shooting fish in a barrel, as we called it yesterday, to be very helpful for you with your trading. I certainly think I can imagine a million scenarios where it would have been. So although this isn't financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor, I certainly hope that you find value in these episodes and then therefore want to share them with your friends and subscribe yourself. If we look towards this area, I want to see the RSI's neutral line be supported for the middle line here at 50 to support the RSI, and for it to move towards the top side, turning this downward sloping moving average to an upward sloping blue one rather than a downward sloping red one, and getting a crossover on them. Likewise in the stochastics, I want to see the same thing happening, but with regards to that area, for it to at least be here at the edge of this neutral zone really, and then move towards the top side. And I want to see these two cross over and move towards the top side, trying to maintain the strength of trend aspect of it, and the kind of the liquidity in the market and the velocity and everything else as we've been going along here, and keep moving towards the top side overall, if we can see a turnaround here at these crucial zones that we've identified already. If not, well then, if not, that's that. We've kind of identified the areas to be aware of for drop-offs lower, have we not? I think we have. $7, potentially down the way, moving past this wick down here towards the low side at 650 would be quite negative. Obviously, this right for a turnaround potentially, but easy enough to manage your risk. One easy place to do it would be there at $7.07 if you were sort of longing it for there. I don't know. So you let me know what you choose to do. Of course, it's all up to you. You're the one trading there, and all the best. Yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. Of course, if it does break down the way, then you'll know that quite quickly, right? Cool. Thanks so much. Catch you next time.